excited. These guys have missed me for sure. They've been very vocal on social media, so I'm excited to finally get back in the cage and do what I do best. It has been a bit wild, yeah. I've enjoyed it though. Obviously third fighting at PFL now.
She tried to mock Dakota Ditcheva, but once the cage door closed, the joke ended fast. What followed was pure violence, one of Dakota's coldest responses ever. In the build-up to one of the most heated matchups of Dakota Ditcheva's career, a surprising statement from her opponent, Sumiko Inaba, ignited attention across the MMA world. Sumiko didn't just talk confidently, she openly mocked Dakota, calling her a midget, and insisting she would walk through the undefeated British rising star to become the new face of the PFL. She said if she beat Dakota, she should automatically replace her as the promotion's top female athlete. Those comments were bold, dismissive, and carried the kind of arrogance that rarely ends well in combat sports. Dakota, on the other hand, responded with calm professionalism, saying she was excited to compete again and ready to show that Sumiko wasn't on her level. When the cage doors shut on July 19, 2025, inside a roaring arena in Cape Town, South Africa, Sumiko realized she had made a huge mistake. She didn't just underestimate Dakota, she insulted a fighter whose entire style is built on punishing disrespect with technical destruction. From the opening seconds of the fight, Dakota displayed the same icy composure she always carries, moving like a sniper, measuring distance, reading Sumiko's intentions, and preparing to dismantle her piece by piece. Round one began with both women circling, testing reactions, and feeling out range. Sumiko, known for her aggressive pressure style, immediately tried to impose herself by stepping into Dakota's space with heavy jabs and looping punches. She wanted to suffocate Dakota's rhythm early, believing she could force mistakes by overwhelming her with speed and forward pressure. But Dakota stayed calm, using her footwork with laser precision. She slipped beautifully, pivoted out of danger, and fired long leg kicks that cracked across Sumiko's calf. Those kicks echoed through the arena, giving fans their first taste of Dakota's tactical control. 2 minutes into the round, Sumiko, desperate to make a statement, rushed forward with a wild flurry, hoping to catch Dakota off guard. Instead, she ran directly into a stiff right hand that froze her in place. Dakota followed instantly with a body kick and a sharp knee in the clinch that forced Sumiko to wince and stumble backward. That moment changed the energy in the entire building. The audience saw it, the commentators saw it, even Sumiko's corner saw it. Dakota wasn't just winning, she was dominating the exchanges with ease. As the round continued, Dakota kept dissecting Sumiko with a mixture of distance control, sharp jabs, and perfectly timed counters. Every time Sumiko tried to close distance, Dakota hit her with something clean. Either a right hand down the middle, a body kick, or an intercepting knee that shut down her momentum instantly. By the end of round one, Sumiko's confidence was already fading. Her corner looked concerned, the crowd shifted in Dakota's favor, and the judges scored the round unanimously for the PFL champion. The fighter who had mocked Dakota's height now found herself struggling to deal with Dakota's reach, intelligence, and timing. Round two began with urgency from Sumiko. She knew she couldn't win a striking battle, so she switched to wrestling. Just 30 seconds in, she shot for a takedown with full commitment, trying to drag Dakota into unfamiliar territory. But Dakota sprawled with perfect timing, flattening Sumiko and punishing her with hard elbows to the side of the head as they scrambled. Sumiko, tough and determined, kept pushing forward, but Dakota's defense was airtight. Once they returned to their feet, Dakota unleashed one of her most dominant sequences of the entire fight. A clean left hook, a sharp right straight, and a heavy low kick that cracked against Sumiko's leg. The impact changed Sumiko's posture instantly. Her breathing grew heavier, her footwork slowed, and swelling began forming under her eye. Still, Sumiko kept advancing, but Dakota made her miss over and over. It was striking precision at its finest. Dakota used micro movements, subtle slips, and quick pivots to avoid damage before firing counters right down the middle. Midway through the round, Sumiko tried again to push Dakota to the cage, hoping to hold her there and slow the pace. It worked for a moment. Sumiko clinched Dakota against the fence, dropping her level for another takedown attempt. But Dakota reversed the position effortlessly, framing properly, turning her hips, and landing 2 crushing knees to the body before breaking free. Her control in every exchange showcased the evolution of her MMA skill set. Dakota wasn't just the better striker, she was the better mixed martial artist. As the round ended, Dakota looked fresh, in complete command, and ready to close the show. Sumiko's corner told her she needed a finish in round 3, because there was no path to victory on points. The third round opened with Sumiko throwing everything she had left. She swung wildly, threw looping punches, kicks, and attempted level changes with desperation. But Dakota remained a master of control. She blocked what needed blocking, slipped everything else, and countered with brutal efficiency. Every mistake Sumiko made was punished instantly. Dakota used long straight punches, stabbing teeps, and brutal low kicks to dismantle her opponent. 2 minutes into the final round, Dakota delivered one of the most memorable strikes of the fight, a spinning back kick that slammed into Sumiko's midsection and staggered her across the cage. The crowd erupted, but while most fighters would have swarmed for a finish, Dakota stayed disciplined. She didn't rush, didn't get reckless, didn't chase the knockout. She remained calm, technical, and in complete control. That was the real story of the fight. Dakota dominated without ever needing chaos. Her discipline won every moment. In the final minute, Sumiko made one last desperate attempt to wrestle her way into the fight. She shot for a takedown, but Dakota stuffed it easily, spun out with perfect timing, and landed a vicious knee to the head on the break. Seconds later, Dakota connected with a straight right that snapped Sumiko's head back, just as the final horn sounded. Both women raised their hands, but everyone in the arena already knew the result. The judges scored the fight 30-27 on all 3 cards. It was a flawless, dominant performance. Dakota stood tall in the center of the cage as the South African crowd chanted her name. Undefeated, unshaken, and still the champion. Dakota Ditcheva's victory over Sumiko Inaba became one of the clearest examples of why disrespecting her is always a mistake. From the moment Sumiko called Dakota a midget, the tone was set for a clash fueled by arrogance on one side and icy professionalism on the other. Sumiko entered the fight believing that Dakota's height, body frame, and long-range style made her fragile. She saw Dakota as someone she could bully with pressure, collapse with wrestling, and overwhelm with volume. But the fight proved the opposite. Dakota wasn't just taller, she was smarter, faster, calmer, and far more complete as a mixed martial artist. Everything Sumiko tried in the cage was handled by Dakota with technical mastery, almost like she had studied every pattern Sumiko relied on and prepared the antidote to each one. The fight became a lesson in distance control. Dakota showed exactly why her long limbs and high fight IQ make her nearly impossible to pressure. Anytime Sumiko stepped forward with heavy punches, Dakota halted her with a jab or crushed her with a brutal body kick. When she lowered her level looking for takedowns, Dakota punished her with intercepting knees. When she attempted to clinch, Dakota framed perfectly and turned her hips to escape. When Sumiko reset and tried again, she ran into the same cycle of punishment. This wasn't just athletic superiority, it was intellectual dominance inside the cage. Dakota was solving Sumiko in real time, breaking her confidence piece by piece. The win also proved how much Dakota has evolved as a complete fighter. In her earlier career, she relied heavily on her Muay Thai. But in this fight, she showed elite takedown defense, smart ground awareness, and the ability to dictate where the fight took place at all times. Even when she was pushed against the cage, she never panicked. She used her posture, head positioning, and frames with the maturity of a veteran. Her ability to defend takedowns frustrated Sumiko to the point where she abandoned her usual setups and began shooting out of desperation, allowing Dakota to counter cleanly. The difference in composure was striking. Sumiko, despite her toughness, was reacting emotionally, throwing wild strikes and telegraphed takedowns, while Dakota remained calm, collected, and focused. That composure is what separates true champions from fighters who simply rely on grit. Dakota never loses her cool. She never gets dragged into chaos. She never allows herself to swing wildly, even when she hurts her opponent. She is the rare type of fighter who can dominate without ever needing to brawl. And then there was Dakota's bodywork, one of the signature elements of her fighting style. Throughout the fight, her kicks to Sumiko's ribs and liver drained her energy, slowed her movement, and broke her posture. Fans watching could physically see the difference. At the start of the fight, Sumiko charged forward aggressively. By the middle of round 2, she hesitated before stepping in. By round 3, she was walking into strikes simply because her body couldn't react fast enough anymore. Dakota's targeting of the body was intelligent and consistent. She mixed kicks, teeps, and knees, each one landing with precision. Many fighters neglect the body. Dakota embraces it. Her liver kicks are among the best in the division. And in this fight, they were one of the main reasons Sumiko couldn't maintain her pressure. When the final bell rang, Sumiko looked exhausted, frustrated, and defeated. Not because she lacked skill, but because she walked into a fighter who was several levels beyond her strategically. But perhaps the most powerful part of the fight was the psychological narrative. Sumiko talked loudly before the fight. She mocked Dakota's height, questioned her toughness, and hinted she was overrated. Dakota didn't respond with trash talk. She responded with discipline. And when the cage locked, her silence became violence. That is Dakota's identity. She destroys people with professionalism. She dismantles arrogance without ever raising her voice. She punishes disrespect with clean technique. Fans love her not only because she wins, but because she wins in a way that feels intentional, cold, and artistic. There is elegance in her violence, a calm, surgical quality that makes her performances unforgettable. After the fight, Sumiko's pre-fight comments aged poorly, but Dakota didn't celebrate aggressively or rub it in. She simply thanked the crowd, complimented her opponent, and walked out like a true champion. That contrast, the loud challenger and the silent destroyer, is why this fight remains one of the most memorable chapters in Dakota's rise. Sumiko entered confidently, Dakota left victorious, and the message was clear. Underestimate Dakota Ditcheva at your own risk. The ironic part is that Sumiko believed Dakota's height made her less dangerous. In reality, Dakota's physical attributes, combined with her intelligence, make her one of the most dangerous fighters in the world. She uses her long frame better than almost anyone in the sport, controlling distance with precision and punishing anyone who dares step forward recklessly. Calling her a midget didn't insult Dakota, it motivated her, and Sumiko paid the price. Looking at Dakota's trajectory, this fight was just another step in a career that seems destined for greatness. With every performance, she gains more fans and more recognition globally. She has the look of a superstar, the mindset of a champion, and the skill set of a future legend. She's undefeated not because she avoids challenges, but because she prepares meticulously, fights intelligently, and refuses to underestimate anyone. That mindset is why she remains one of the most feared fighters in the division. Sumiko learned that firsthand. So did the audience, and so did every future opponent watching. Dakota Ditcheva does not need height to dominate. She does not need trash talk to intimidate. She does not need wild exchanges to win. All she needs is timing, intelligence, and the precision she has spent years perfecting. And when someone mocks her, doubts her, or disrespects her, the outcome is always the same. She answers them with violence inside the cage and silence outside of it. This is why Dakota Ditcheva has become one of the most compelling rising stars in MMA. She fights with discipline, finishes with precision, and carries herself like a future world champion. Sumiko called her a midget, but what happened next proved the opposite. Dakota stands taller than anyone who dares to underestimate her.